AOC has responded to the video that Paul Gosar put out of him and other wackadoodle right-wingers literally murdering her. She tweeted, so while I was en route to Glasgow, a creepy member I work with who fundraises for neo-Nazi groups shared a fantasy video of him killing me. And he'll face no consequences because GOP leader cheers him on with excuses. Fun Monday, well, back to work because institutions don't protect women of color. She's 100% there. 100% right there. She goes on, remember when Yoho accosted me on the Capitol and called me an effing bitch? Remember when Green ran after me a few months ago screaming and reaching for her? Remember when she stalked my office the first time with insurrectionists and people locked inside? All at my job and nothing ever happens. I assume most of our audience remembers that. Just in case, I wanna show you a brief bit of, this is back in 2019, before we elevated her from crazy rando to crazy rando congresswoman. Here is Marjorie Greene.
To Crazy Ocasio, you come to this little thing and you open it up and you whisper into her.
Session.
This is confession. This is Ocasio confession right there. That's
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'm an American citizen.
This is creepy.
It's hide and seek.
This is, huh?
Hide and seek.
It's hide and seek. Tag, you're it. Guess what? You can't stay in there forever. Can you come out and play? Let's go.
All right, so I guess she got the message before.
And since then, she's gone on to become a congressperson. The guys in the video either are participating in the insurrection or eventually will be locked up for plotting to murder congresspeople, I'm sure. And this is what she has been dealing with. And she and others, there's threats against Rashida Tlaib and Ayanna Pressley and Ilhan Omar constantly.
Yeah.
There will never be any
Cory
protection.
Bush too.
Cory Bush as well, yes.
Bush. Yeah.
And they're just supposed to take it. And we're supposed to hope that it'll just stop it stalking them in their office and anime videos. That eventually one of the crazy people that follow them, who have more guns than brain cells, won't eventually do something. And I dread that every single day. There have already been attacks against politicians, obviously, Gabby Giffords and all that. But I'm just terrified that the leadership doesn't care. They just leave these women out there to protect themselves.
No, they don't care. They're not using their power to make an example of this person. This should just not happen. In no world is this acceptable at all. And we just gonna have to just settle in on that. Let that rest right there. In no way is this acceptable to make physical threats of violence against your coworker or anybody for that matter, John. And I love the examples that you opened up with, because there is no job on the earth except for this one that you could openly threaten to kill your coworker or coworkers and still have your damn job.
Yeah, and
without consequence.
Here's the video. Look at all of what it took for Marjorie Greene to just lose her committee hearings. She literally just said, it wasn't anime she just said Pelosi needs a bullet in the head. And that by itself clearly wasn't enough. You needed all of this stuff, the yellow star and the allusions to the Holocaust and the Jewish space lasers and the QAnon and yeah, I think Hillary Clinton ate a baby's face once, and all of that together took her off her committee hearings and freed her up to be crazy independently more. And
she got rewarded because that video you showed, right, was her before she was elected to Congress. So that is the reward. That kind of crazy gets you elected to Congress in some cases.
100%. AOC's final tweet was, this dude is just a collection of wet toothpicks anyway. White supremacy is for extremely fragile people and sad men like him, whose self-concept relies on the myth that he was born superior because deep down he knows he couldn't open a pickle jar or read a whole book by himself. I like that, and I love that AOC can joke a bit when I know that she must be terrified constantly of all of these crazies. And it's totally true. I mean, that's what these myths are designed to take people and give them a false sense of their own superiority. I would argue that if you were truly superior, if you were truly strong, you would perhaps, as a representative, deliver for your constituents and not just tweet out anime videos of you killing people personally.
How about that? And some people are more predisposed to believe in this kind of stuff for real, and it just gives people license to maybe try to do this for real, and that in lies the problem.
100%. Ilhan Omar tweeted, "This man should not serve in Congress." She's totally right. Ted Lieu actually tweeted about it early on. And he makes the point too that in any other workplace you wouldn't be allowed to do that. They're not gonna let you keep stocking the shelves at like Bass Pro Shops if you fantasize about killing the cashier. We have no standards whatsoever for the people that we give the most power to. And to cover for this, because all of the right-wing media is gonna cover for this, they say, well, Kathy Griffin years ago, she made a threat against Trump. That's true, and I've never voted for her for Congress since then, to be fair. She never served on a committee, actually. She's a random entertainer. And she actually suffered consequences, by the way. Despite not being a congressperson, she effectively, like if anybody got canceled for something they said, she basically disappeared for a few years. And again, not a congressperson, notably. A random guy came up to Tucker Carlson in a sporting goods store and talked very reasonably to him. No threats, no anything, and the right lost their mind over that. There was no videos of him decapitating Tucker Carlson or anything like that.
The hypocrisy is thick. And look, I didn't agree with Kathy Griffin. She is a comedian though, so if she was doing that in her comedic role, some people may say, oh, that's distasteful, but we know comedians, they really press it. They go beyond what sometimes is acceptable. Even then, I did not agree with it. But your point is very well taken. The difference between her being a comedian and if people were, rooting for that. No, I don't agree with that. That's their right to root for that, but I didn't. Even though it was Donald J. Trump, I didn't like it. She is a comedian. So I'm gonna put that right there. But these folks we talking about right now serve in the United States Congress and they sit side by side. Kathy Griffin doesn't sit side by side with President Donald J. Trump again, even though I didn't agree with it. But these people that she got to come in contact with these fools on a regular basis. They hold enormous amount of power and people follow and listen to them and they could trigger somebody, again, that may be predisposed to this kind of behavior and they're making it seem like it is okay. It is not okay. Just like it's not okay for a cashier at a fast food restaurant or anywhere else, a car wash, wherever people are, to threaten their co-workers. It's not okay for Congress people to either threaten them directly or indirectly threaten them through an anime video. It's not okay.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.